Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Kat. Thank you so much for being here. Today I'm going to talk about recent releases which came out in October, which I am super excited for. First I'm going to do adult books and then I'm going to do YA books. If you want to skip around, the links are down below. So first up is Earthlings by Sayaka Murata, who is a Japanese writer. This is following a young girl who believes she is either an alien or a witch. She doesn't really fit in with other people, and she has a best friend who is a little boy, and they make a promise. And then we fast forward years later, and the little girl is grown up and married to a man who is asexual. And that's all I know about this book, but when I looked at some of the reviews, it said it's not what you think it is, and it gets so complicated and complex, and it's very wonderful and surreal, and I really can't wait to read this. Next up is The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. I don't need to talk about it. A girl makes a Faustian bargain with a demon, and then she lives for centuries. I can't wait to read it. Next up, The Hollow Places by Kingfisher. This is about a young girl who goes to live with her uncle, and she finds that there are portals to this other world where monsters exist who can read your thoughts and feed off of them. Sounds dark, and I've actually never read a Kingfisher before, so it sounds very interesting to me. Along the same lines is We Hear Voices by Evie Green. This one is about a young child who gets sick, and when he recovers from this illness, he has an imaginary friend / hears voices who makes him do things. Evil child, or infected child that has to act evil. Either way, I'm very excited about it. Next up is The Hole by Hiroko Oyamada, not to be confused with The Hole by a Korean author. This one says it's a mix between Alice in Wonderland and My Neighbor Totoro, only make it unsettling. So it's about a woman who moves to a rural place where her husband is relocated, and one day when she's out and about, she falls down a hole, and it brings her to like this other world, which is both bizarre and super creepy. So I'm really looking forward to it. I think that the cover is brilliant. It just makes me feel a little weird. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to this one. So next up is one of my most anticipated releases of the year ever since I read Trail of Lightning. And this is Black Sun by Rebecca Roanhorse. So this is inspired by the civilizations of pre-Columbian Americas and woven into a tale of celestial prophecies, political intrigue, and forbidden magic. That's all I'm gonna say about that. I really, extremely want to read this. If bookstores open soon in Australia, I want to buy a physical copy of this because I just really have loved her other book. So I'm really hopeful, and I really can't wait to read this. Next up is Phoenix Extravagant by Yoon Lee, and this says Dragon Art Revolution. We are following a non-binary character called Yen Jebi, who doesn't want to be a fighter or subversive. Instead, they just want to create art, but I assume that they're pulled into it, and so non-binary main character who is an artist plus dragons plus revolution plus that cover. Take my money. And the last adult release for October that really has my attention, but I think it's going to destroy me, is Infinite Splendours by Sofie Laguna. I read The Choke by Sofie Laguna, and it was so heart-wrenching. Sofie Laguna is an Australian author. I don't think a lot of people know about her, perhaps, outside of Australia. If you haven't, read her. She's amazing. So this follows a very damaged man who had a horrific childhood as he forms a friendship with a young boy who is his neighbor, and he's kind of protective over him. And I think I'm so worried that it's gonna be dark before it can be light, if that makes sense. Sofie Laguna has a wonderful way of weaving characters, but she sucker punches you with that characterization, if that makes any sense. Like, you know it's gonna hurt you a lot. I find that her writing style is very similar to Breen Greenwood, who is my favorite author. So I picture tears in my future. And now let's talk about the YA recent releases that I'm super excited for. The first one is Blazewrath Games by Amparo Ortiz. This is a dragon tournament where there are dragon riders, and we are following Lena Torres, who has always preferred dragons to people, and she wanted to compete for her native country of Puerto Rico. And when she is given that chance, she realizes that there may be problems with the way things are done. And if you didn't know, my maiden name was Torres. My dad is Portuguese. So yeah, really, really want to read this. Next up is one that I think has a super fascinating premise. This is Winter White and Wicked. It's a mashup of Frozen meets Mad Max Fury Road. This is about an ice rig driver who drives this gigantic caravan through the icy wilderness, and her name is Sylvie. And when her best friend runs off with the rebels, she decides that she's going to go deep into the territory and drive and go get her friend. And she's also teaming up with a renowned smuggler who she doesn't want to work with, as well as a giant warrior woman and a boy who has skin like stone. This sounds fabulous. I can't wait to get my hands on it. Next up is one that I think will have super important things to say. This is You Know I'm No Good by Jessie and Foley. So this is following a young woman named Mia who is a troubled teen, and she is sent to a reform school basically, and her main premise is that her not taking crap from people and standing up for herself and refusing to be put down is seen as troublesome, whereas she sees that the boys around her get away with it all the time, and it just infuriates her and makes her really resistant to anything that the boarding school would have to say to her. And honestly, that's kind of how I was when I was a child. I was very, definitely, you could say, yeah, very similar. But so I really want to read this just from a personal standpoint of like, this was a lot how I acted. So and I definitely was threatened multiple times with being sent to reform school, but yeah, so I'm intrigued about this and I hope that it's very good. It has high ratings as of right now. And of course there has to be something on here that's about water or water magic. This is Beyond the Ruby Veil by Mara Fitzgerald. So this follows Emanuela, who is about to get married, and she is gay, as is her groom. So they've both just kind of decided to get married because that's what other people want, but they themselves are not attracted to each other. And she's fine with that. However, this is in a world where there is something called a water cree, which is the only source of water. And every year there's a sacrifice, and they know that they're a sacrifice for the water, like gods, I guess, because they get a mark on them. But for many years, Emanuela has hidden her mark and not been committed and killed in order to bring water. And when one of the like water mages calls her out on it, she ends up killing that person who brings water. So now she has to figure out how to bring water back to her people. Otherwise, basically everyone will die of thirst. So I think it sounds very interesting. I love any sort of like water magic. We know this. So yeah, I'm really intrigued. I also love the cover, and I wish the cover actually had like water on it. That would have been better, but okay, roses is fine. And the last YA book that I am super interested in that's coming out in October is Kingdom of the Wicked by Carrie Maniscalco. This one I wish had been released at the beginning of October because it would have been an amazing read for Halloween. So this is following two sisters who are Strega, I think is how you say that. They're witches, and they live among humans. However, one of the twins is brutally murdered and the body is desecrated beyond like all belief. And the twin that is remaining decides to get vengeance. So she meets Wrath, one of the wicked princes of hell that she has been warned against. However, she's going to make a deal, and he says he's on her side to find the killer and get revenge. Oh my god, I can't wait. It sounds so fab. I love witches, I love revenge, and I love any sort of prince from hell. So this is just ticking all of my boxes. And it has a skull and a snake on the cover, so I'm thrilled. So that finishes up my October releases that I'm so excited for. Let me know if you've read any of these and what you thought. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you are having a very spooky Halloween season, and I will check in with you guys later with another video. Bye!